And we have Dominic Longman, Senior Executive Officer of Binance. So please join me in welcoming our crypto panel to the stage. Alright, so I'm sure many people who are involved in the digital asset space probably know a lot of the gentlemen on the panel. They should be familiar faces, but if we could just do, in the interest of how many people we have on the panel, very quick introductions for the audience.
Now, Thomas Soffinson, founder and general partner of TNT Venture Capital. Tried to bring deep domain expertise in the area, entered the space in 2012, and founded lots of ventures and made lots of investments in this.
Bill Qian, and I'm the chairman and general partner for Cypher Capital. And before Cypher, I was the head of M&A and Binance Labs for Binance. Thank you.
Saeed Al-Darmaki, founder and CEO of Future Finance. Previously co-founded Alphabet Digital Currency Fund, a regulated crypto fund. That's how I got into the blockchain world 6 years ago. And before that, in Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. And just want to say thank you to Collab Ventures and Adam and Fahad for inviting me to speak.
Hello everybody, my name is Alain Barré, I'm based in Geneva, Switzerland. I'm very happy to be here and to share my experience. I've been managing a group of different businesses for the past 4 years. The main businesses are my private office, where I invest in different ventures. I also own a sports agency. I also manage a business club for millionaires in Geneva. And last, this is what I'm going to speak about today. I created, I guess, the first family office, which is doing a bridge between the traditional finance and the crypto world. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Farhan. I'm the founder and CEO of Velos Blockchain. It's a blockchain ecosystem. We're the world's fastest EVM chain right now. We have a whole ecosystem of products. I've been in this space for quite a while as well, maybe 7-8 years. Been involved in this space from different angles, from the asset management side, we were structuring first financial products in Switzerland, and now active role in CEO of Velos.
Finance Abu Dhabi, just compared to CZ. Here we are studying Berkeley as by AGM. Previously, multiple crypto custodians and other projects. Very happy to know Saeed from Abu Dhabi Investment Authority and advise on future finance as well.
Excellent. What I like about this panel is a number of people have been converts or crossovers from the TradFi space, so they bring that perspective as well. I just thought we should start with some very basic definitions. Who can tell me in a nice sentence what is Web3?
I'm probably going to have 6 different opinions here. Certainly mine, I believe, is going to be a bit different knowing the other people on the panel. I come from a very, I would say, different perspective. I think that Web3, the concept of Web3, metaverse, crypto, blockchain are often amalgamated. You can definitely call the metaverse concept, which is really the focus of my fund. I would have liked it to call it Web3, but it's too much amalgamated with crypto and blockchain. And it is, for me, the next generation, the next phase of the internet. I wish I would call it Web3. is really like really the next phase of the internet. Internet is going to be much more immersive, much more 3D components, potentially other technologies that we've all heard of, like augmented reality, virtual reality, etc., and may or may not include components such as crypto or blockchain, etc., which are really subset technologies of the next phase of the internet. That would be my definition of Web3.
I see a number of hands, but can I just ask, can we have the spare microphone just for the purpose of the panel? Thank you.
I agree. Web3 is about technology, but I want to add something. To me, it's about a new philosophy. This is, to me, what Web3 is about. The philosophy about owning your data. This is, for me, what is Web3.
Absolutely. Web3 is about, right now, we have 3 or 4 large mega corporations that control all our data, own our data, make money off it, even though we're the data generators and creators. So this whole concept of Web3 was brought about so we don't end up with just 1 or 2 entry points to the internet. We have many, many different ways of accessing the internet, and that data is back under our control and our revenue generation. We want to make money from it rather than buying Facebook.
I think for me, For me, I think Web3 is the concept of the evolution of how we interact with the World Wide Web. So, for example, Web 1 was just being able to read user content. Web 2 was being able to interact and kind of exchange information, like e-commerce platforms and so on. And Web 3 is an evolution whereby there's decentralization of data, there's the use of blockchain technology, not just blockchain technology, but also maybe AI, IoT, VR, AR technology, and all of these technologies amalgamated together to give the user an experience of a more evolutionized Web3.
Yeah, so my understanding, like Web3, first of all, it's web, so it's still the internet, the internet industry. But why it's 3 is because, with the help of the blockchain technology, all the users, they will own their data and assets by themselves.
Yeah, so Web3 is, like Ross says, the evolution of the internet. It's not fully here yet. We're in the process of building it. For me, Web3 is when most of the applications that are running on centralized systems are going to be run on the blockchain. And also the integral part of IoT devices and different devices connecting in a different way, much faster, more fluid.
Right, so we'll dive a bit deeper into a number of those things, particularly the data aspect, I think is very important, and the decentralization going into DeFi. Last definition, what is the metaverse?
Again, here you're probably going to ask many people and get many answers. The metaverse is still a concept that is being defined as we speak. As I said earlier, for me, this is really the metaverse is the evolution of the internet, and includes many sub-technologies that are really underneath, like potentially blockchain and crypto, like certainly AR and VR, but it's really taking the internet to a next phase where it is going to be much more three-dimensional, etc., etc. That's really for me the metaverse. There are a lot of people that don't like to use the concept. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, is one of them, because there is no common denominator and there is no common, I would say, acceptance of what this term really is.
Yeah, I think metaverse basically is the ultimate experience as an internet user. So I think the immersive experience will be very important. But like how to be immersive, I think that's a big challenge as a point of time. Yeah, because most of the people still today spend most of the time on the cell phone, but cell phone is not that immersive.
So the term metaverse, I think, was first used in a novel by Neil Stephenson called Snow Crash back in 1982. And effectively what it is, it's an virtual reality kind of world. We're nowhere near that yet, the full extent of it. I think the technologies that are dependent on having a true metaverse environment are still need a lot of development and still being developed. But I think it's always been around. I think if you're a gamer or used to be a gamer like I was, then that's technically kind of a metaverse where you're interacting in a virtual world. You're playing a game and you're interacting in a virtual world. I guess Minecraft is probably a low graphics kind of imaging metaverse, but I think the technology is yet to evolve, yet to develop, and it has a lot of possibilities and potentials. And I know the Dubai government is deploying a lot of money to actually provide public services in the metaverse.
If you have a brand, you must invest in this industry because this is where the consumers are and will be. So this is maybe one small advice I could share.
Yeah, so metaverse for me is a new trendy word that everybody uses. I agree that the metaverse for gamers has been around for over 15 years. What people are calling the metaverse or what it's going to be, it's far from being here. I agree here with Elon Musk that by just putting a screen really close to your face doesn't put you inside the metaverse, doesn't give you that fully submersive experience. Maybe something like Neuralink or something is implanted in your brain and you're fully submerged that will get you inside the metaverse. But for me, in terms of how we look at blockchain, how we look at NFTs, these are very much compatible with the gaming world, right? Because that's its natural fit.
Totally agree with everyone here, right? Let's be clear, there may be many metaverses. They may well be owned by companies to allow you access to these metaverses. Again, it's about immersive experience. We most of us, let's face it, spend most of our day doing business via the internet. In the future, we'll most likely spend most of our time doing business in a metaverse or metaverses. How that is regulated, because it won't necessarily be under the jurisdiction of one country. All questions that need to be answered and looked at. But I think most importantly, it's a huge financial opportunity because individuals will spend a significant period of their day fully immersed in this environment. That's how they will communicate and operate. There may be businesses that only operate in the metaverse in the future or be transcending across the metaverse and the real world. So, and lots of things to look at in this space.
Yeah, and definitely lots to talk about on a regular design.
Just add one quick thing. For the audience here, some of them are coming, family offices, funds, etc., representing something more traditional. Everything that you're doing is going to be impacted by that. So these are not six, geeks here that are speaking a language that is, is not going to go into your world. It's going to change everything. Phones that we all have in our pocket today have changed your entire world, right? You not envision a world that doesn't function on an iPhone or connectivity or something like that. There is going to be a possibility also that there will be also devices that will eventually replace the iPhone or the smartphone today. So real estate is going to be immensely impacted by this concept like metaverse, Web3, etc. Education, healthcare, this is going to change the entire world. So it's very, very important to pay attention to these things.
So we have no spare microphones.
Thank you. I'm just really, really curious, listening to all of you. Coming out of COVID, we were all pivoted, we were all on Zoom all the time, and now we have such Zoom fatigue. We cannot stand it anymore. We want the human interaction. So I have here a panel of amazing people who said, well, you will be doing business on the metaverse. I do not understand it.
You're not my 10-year-old daughter. Who absolutely would more than happily spend her whole time on her device working that way. I am not that generation. I totally agree with you. I go to the office every day now because I can. It's wonderful and I can interact with people. But for generations who will now be, looking at like a really dark and probably follow some stone crash where it went, right? Was around from a world which is running low on resources, which is possibly overpopulated from a number of resources, where you have a population where, because they spend most of their time not actually moving around, possibly physically living in a much smaller environment and utilising a lot less resource, but working and dealing with people globally, fully immersed in a metaverse experience, so for them, they're living there, and breathing there, you know, that's how it could play out. So for them, that might be a perfectly natural state. And for them, they will actually operate with people who they couldn't do previously because they're in Australia.
Yeah, I guess a good example for a better understanding would be think about your shopping experience before, right? Think about how you use, and everybody uses Amazon and Noon here and all the other things. So it's very natural, right, for you to go online to buy something. And it's more competitive because you don't have to pay rent, you don't have to pay employees on the ground, you don't have these logistical costs and so forth. Same thing for people working in a virtual environment, right? It's so much easier. Instead of me, I had different offices all across the world. Right now, due to COVID or the war in Ukraine and so forth, we have to cut back offices, and we often meet in a virtual environment, either on Zoom, either in what they call metaverse, right? There's meeting rooms that you can have virtual reality and so on, and you can interact and do things that you can't do on a 2D screen. So I think this is just natural progression of how people are going to interact.
I think I'll also add to that human beings are social animals, and physical interaction and touch and feel is important to a human being, but you can choose to not operate in a metaverse, or you can choose to operate in a normal way of doing things. It just means that if you are a business that's competing against other businesses that are using the most efficient and latest technologies and they're doing things much cheaper and faster than you are, then you're going to be left behind and your business is spending the time. So you always have the option, you don't have to, but if you don't, then you're going to be more or less at a disadvantage. But I think metaverse and real life will always coexist. You will always need to. You always need to hug your children, you need to hug your parents, you need to talk to people and see their body language too. So it's not going to disappear, but there will be kind of times where you have to use it, and there will be times where you don't need to. So you just have to make a personal choice.
Yeah, I think in the end of the day, it's all about like, the percentage of the pie chart of the people's time span. So before the Web 1 and Web 2, most of the retail happened offline, and now in most of the developed country, e-commerce contribute 20% of their retail of the GDP. Yeah, so e-commerce is not replacing buy mall, but that's a good combination. Yeah, so I think going forward, regardless it's metaverse or WhatsApp or Zoom, etc., it's just going to be some portion of people's time spending. Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, it's not about like who will replace whom, but it's about complementary and enable human being to make the relationship or deliver the job more efficiently.
And that sort of ties into a point as well that Austin made on the opening healthcare panel about that, the difference between sustaining innovation and disruptive innovation. I think Saeed and Farhad alluded to the fact that we've still got so far to go. Where do you think we are in the curve? How much disruptive innovation have we seen, and where have we seen it the most? And which is just sort of more of the same?
The pace of innovation, the more technology we're using, the more the pace of innovation is advancing rapidly. This is also tied to part of the things that you were saying. The iPhone came in 2007. Around 2008 to 2009, we have had Uber and Airbnb disrupting entire industries. So the pace of innovation is going to be extremely rapid. It doesn't mean that the entire society is going to move into the metaverse very quickly, and I definitely hope that we will have this human interaction and that it's going to be technology at the benefit of human beings, at the benefit of society, and not for itself. But it's going to advance at a very rapid pace, and the family offices and the funds that are here in front of us should make those decisions based on that. The time to invest and the time to take the opportunity is right now. I believe that it was Arno who was very correctly mentioning that all the brands, all the large companies of the world are entering right now. Make no mistakes, they're entering in billions, right? Facebook has changed their name to Meta, right? Meta platforms. That gives you an idea where we're going. $10 to $15 billion that was invested into it. And they're not even the big dog. The big dog was that Microsoft at the beginning of the year, they have bought Activision, basically signaling the metaverse strategy with a $65 billion acquisition of Activision. So we're talking about a lot of money that is being put in that. Therefore, the time to invest is right now, because in 3, 4, 5 years, you're probably going to be too late in the game.
I think now.
Oh, you go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So I think now, if we take analogy, basically it's like 1990 of the Web 2. So the reason that I will argue now is 1990 of the Web 2 is because if we take the reference of the number, in 1990, basically the global users of the internet is between 100 million to 500 million. So now, basically regarding the Web3 user or crypto holder, we only have 300 million. Out of the 5 billion global daily active user of the internet, so it's like only 6% of the penetration. Yeah, so that's why now we will feel this industry is very early stage. Quite a few entrepreneurs get into, but we only have less than 50k global, 50k developers global, as compared to more than 20 million internet developers globally. Yeah, so obviously now it's still very early stage. But I strongly recommend that every individual or every institution should put some percentage into it. Just like put some percentage of the allocation into the internet back to the 1990s.
Should have let you go first. Yeah, same message. Probably 40+% of the world still does not have internet access. Let alone how many are on banks. Current market cap, I checked this morning, I'm guessing still under $1 trillion for all of crypto. Have we reached over now? Oh, good news, but it's still less than most of the sovereign wealth funds in this city, right? It is still very, very early days, making a huge amount of noise, and there's a huge amount of excitement, which is brilliant, but it's still very early days for family offices, etc., to be looking into this space.
I like to use the analogy of, when we used to connect to the internet with dial-up mode, and it used to make that quirky noise. I think that's where we are right now with blockchain and Web3. So I think another 5 to 10 years from now is where you're going to be able to see the technology actually being at a developed level where it can actually be scalable and service many industries globally, and reach a point where it's being mass adoption of it. And then I like the example that Bill used. So if you just think about gambling, let's say if you just think about it as a gamble, investing in crypto or blockchain, when do you take a bet or when do you gamble? You take a bet when net expectations is positive. So let's say, for example, you put 1% of your portfolio into a crypto or blockchain asset class. If you lose that 1%, you lost 1%. But looking at the historical returns of crypto assets over the years, there are multiples of 2x, 5x, 10x that's possible. So you stand to double your portfolio at the very minimum in the space of a few years, or lose 1%. So even if you're looking at it as a gamble, it's a bet that you should always take, regardless of whether you know what the actual instrument is that you're betting on.
Yeah, so I just want to add that blockchain technology is fantastic in its essence, and down the line I think it's going to have a deeper impact than the internet itself had on businesses and people's lives. But not always the best technology is being used for wins, right? If you think about what the banking system is being operated right now, the SWIFT system was made in the 1970s. Sometimes it takes 3-4 days to execute a transaction. In 2022, it's just ludicrous, right? Because we can settle a transaction in under 1 second with all the smart contracts in place. So I guess what I'm saying is that you don't always bet on the right technology. You have to bet on the right environment at the right time. And there has to be the right lobby groups, the right business groups behind every technology. But in general, I think blockchain is a very, very bright future.
And that's actually a great sort of segue on the lobby groups into regulation. It's obviously very much shaping the evolution of the market. Because it's such a broad industry, or blockchain covers so many things, are there certain parts of that whole ecosystem that should be regulated more than others? Would like to get your thoughts on the regulatory framework.
My view is that there shouldn't necessarily be any different regulation because it's a new technology. Most of the regulation and most of the way that business should be conducted is already there. There are clearly products and clearly digital assets that we have a very clear definition of what it is. I know that a lot of actors in the space would like to portray it as something different, potentially raise money based on that. It's not necessarily the right things to do. These are some of the critique I would say that I have on the sector and on the way that it currently operates. Most of the regulation, most of the framework really exists today, so security is clearly security, and a lot of those tokens and those things that are outside are clearly securities, and there are things that are clearly commodities and utilities to be used in the system. So I think that one of the aspects that should be also dealt, and piggybacking a little bit on what Said was saying earlier, is that when you're investing in the space, one way really to do it, and probably the best, I would say, the recommendation to do it is also to use trusted people that really come with deep domain expertise in the area, like in all areas. Also when I invest in other things such as real estate, I'm not a real estate investor, I try to use other real estate experts. So the same thing when you're entering these spaces, especially when it's an emerging technology, something that is really on the bleeding edge, is very important to use trusted people. But the frameworks really exist today, and I'm not of the personal opinion that we should shape or reshape regulations and frameworks because we're using the same technologies, because technologies are evolving all the time.
Yeah, I would say, let's take example of the gaming industry. Gaming essentially is a content industry, and because it's content driven and it's very easy to be manipulated by violence, etc. So in that case, most of the regulators, regulate the game, especially from the content, whether it's healthy or not, that perspective. And regarding the crypto Web3, basically, it's a technology to access the people, enable people to move the assets very easily. So in that case, by nature, it is very easy to be related to money laundering, etc. Yeah, so I would say in general, Web3 to some extent is easily to be manipulated by money laundering or terrorism. In that front, yeah. So I would say better, for the regulator to hire more crypto-savvy people to join the regulator and to put more efforts into those kind of perspectives.
I think regulation is very, very important, especially when it comes to institutional investors out there, because as an institutional investor, the only risk you want to worry about really is market risk, and even then you can hedge against that risk. But if you're having a new kind of market, which is digital assets, if there's regulatory risk and there's custody risk and there's settlement risk and all of these risks that come with a new asset class, as an institution, you're not going to put in $1 billion or $10 billion into an asset class without making sure that all risks are mitigated. We also have smart contract risk because it's a technology. So I think it's really, really important that regulation is in place. And I think the touch points of regulation should be in centralized entities like exchanges or brokers or middlemen that are involved in the industry, and that should definitely be regulated. But more so in a market where people are putting money in, and people could lose money if they have the wrong information or if the right framework isn't being adhered to, then it's equally important. And then on the topic of, especially with decentralized finance protocols, these protocols actually have self-governance mechanisms in place through decentralized autonomous organizations, and you do see self-governance in some blockchain companies, but not all. So you want to have that regulatory environment across the board, and it's important because there's money involved, so people need to be protected.
Just on the point on custody, last week, just last week, BNY Mellon was approved for custodial services, but there was a crypto native bank whose application had been under process for multiple months, and the founder has now filed suit against the Fed. What do you think this says about, I don't know if it's an attitude of the regulators or the knowledge of the regulators, that they would approve BNY Mellon, but they wouldn't approve a native crypto bank? Can you maybe
Tell me on that.
I think we have to be very careful with that one, right? Because Custodia is applying for a central bank account to allow for US dollar clearing, right? Which, as a small bank, is not an easy thing to do no matter what industry you're supporting. Whereas Bank of New York is a rather established bank, I understand, which has had a central bank account for many, many years, is a rather well-known custodian, and then is adding custody of a slightly different asset class to its books. I can completely understand why the custodial bank are frustrated. We're very lucky here, obviously sponsored by AGM, and going for an AGM license to become a very proactive regulator here, who's been brilliant, and hopefully we are to move our license forward in a matter of months, not years, which is killed the industry in the UK. The regulation has been very, very slow and killed businesses, but that particular example, I'm not quite sure on the dynamics that it's sort of pushing through at this point in time. And I'd just like to come up with the regulation bit as well. I'm sorry, I'll have to call you out on the SWIFT thing, right? SWIFT moves millions of transactions every single day. But the problem there is not SWIFT. The problem there is banking and correspondent banking relationships. And then what did the regulation do, particularly in Europe with the PSD, was meant that the banks couldn't take float. Suddenly you got settlement in a day, not in days. Right? So again, why I think it's really important, and it's very important that we have regulation in this industry, is what we don't want is players taking advantage of the tech and therefore making money, rather than actually providing service, which is what was occurred through that PSD plan. There is still actually an issue with correspondent banking relationships globally, that it wasn't a tech problem per se. And if you look at some of the failures that have happened in the industry in the past year, again, because they were unregulated businesses, the failures weren't because it was crypto or blockchain or tokens. The failures was because they had no risk management. They had no review of the downside. They had no good compliance processes. And I think that's where regulation can really assist as well, to actually drive through good players in the marketplace corresponding to a good set of rules. And instead of ending up with some nation-state governance, which is where correspondent banking falls down right now, we have smart contracts, right? What are they really good at executing? A set of rules. So we could actually end up with a global basis of regulation in the future. So I think it's an incredibly important piece of this industry.
So then, if I could answer. I understand what you're saying, correspondent banks are a pain, but this is exactly what I was leading to that. We have smart contracts, we have ways to settle and verify transactions on the fly, right? And going back to regulation, hard regulation prevents rigorous growth and development of our space, but however it's very much needed in order to access large capital. As we said, we're only at $1 trillion when the derivatives market is almost $400 trillion, right, which is hard to comprehend. So I do believe regulation is very important, but it has to be done in the right way, and regulators have to be speaking with the people that are developing the technologies. And I'm 100% with you that people should not be making projects to profiteer and make a quick buck, but rather make real services that will be applied in the real world, right? And not just in the blockchain world, applications and things that are built for banks, for governments, and for everybody to just develop faster.
And that's a really great point, and goes into something that Don said earlier about one of crypto's original ethos was to bank the unbanked. It was all about financial inclusion. I feel that in some instances it's drifted away from this. You mentioned NFTs before. I think 10 issuers of NFTs own like 27% of the royalties. So is technology widening or narrowing that wealth gap? And if it's widening it, what can we do about that?
I can go. First of all, I think coming back to, because it ties into your question here, was what happened to that custodian bank in the US and what they did it to BNY Mellon. I'm actually very much of the opinion that everything that has happened is because of most of the bad actors in the crypto industry, whether we like it or not. That's really what happens, and you see the repercussions. Regulation is not only important, but it's critical, and this sector is never going to grow if it is out of the system. It has to be inside the system and really behave responsibly. Coming back to what you said, it's widening. Again, coming back to bad actors, it's a lot of the things happening in the space are very much concentrated in very few hands. We're not seeing the decentralization that everyone was promising. I know that a lot of the panel here, my friends here at the panel, and all of them very genuine, very good people in the industry, or some of the best actors here, are all talking about data sovereignty, that we need to own our data, right? Well, it's not happening because even crypto and blockchain many times behave in a very, very centralized way, in a very, very centralized capacity. Banking the unbank, sorry. That doesn't happen, and essentially doesn't happen to the premise that will happen. The only way that it is to do it is making it part of the system, so to enable it to scale in frameworks and regulations that are working, with people like this here that are really here to do something good, bring value to the users, bring value to the ecosystem, and create long-lasting businesses with positive effect. A lot of the things that in the industry are happening are actually very much in contradiction of that, unfortunately. So it's very, very important to know who to trust and to know, who are really not only the people that are here for the money grab, but also here to build and doing something that is good. To some extent, piggybacking on what Don was saying, I'm quite happy of this downturn here, because when the downturn is happening, we see who the tourists were, and we see who the real builders are. So I'm very happy to sit next to all gentlemen here that are very much builders and are here really to build on that future and potentially bring what Arne was saying about the data ownership of that. Because these technologies are really the future, and the future is really happening right now.
Like I said in the beginning, it's a lot about the philosophy. And what has been said just now is very interesting to me. Right now we are in what we call a bear market, which means that crypto holders have lost a lot of money in the past few months, including myself. But every day people ask me, oh, I'm sorry for you. But to be honest, I don't really understand their point, and I don't really care, because I've been in the industry for so long that honestly I didn't lose money since the beginning. So even in these bear markets, it's not a problem for me. And also we know that there are cycles in every industries, and a lot of people also ask me about volatility. But nowadays, I don't think there is security anywhere. When I'm from Switzerland, I think the share price of Credit Suisse has lost 50% in the past few months, and They are talking maybe that the bank will fire a lot of people and so on. So I mean, it's like I said in the beginning, it's about the philosophy and believing in the industry. And this is the question you have to ask yourself. It's not will I make money with crypto? Is the question is more what is the philosophy behind crypto? And for me, the revolution is only Bitcoin. This is the revolution because this is the true decentralization.
If I could just add on technology giving us the gap, I guess we can compare this to early internet stages when everybody was saying that the internet is a scam, it's full of bad actors, it's full of illicit activities. The same thing has happened in the blockchain industry, right? In the beginning, Bitcoin and crypto was used in the dark web also for illicit activities, or what it was known for. And then there was the utopic idea of that this technology will solve everything. And then there was a lot of projects that just gave empty promises and never delivered, never built. But now, not only has the industry matured, the investors have matured and have a deeper understanding of what's going on and how to identify quality projects and quality tools. And I think at the end of the day, like I told you, I truly believe blockchain technology will be more impactful in our society than the internet itself. And that's coming in gradually. But people have to build real life applications that work and that are needed.
I think talking about banked and unbanked, I think the question should be, is there an alternative to using a bank? And the answer is yes, there is alternatives out there. I know people that have stopped using banks for the last 10 years and they've just been using crypto and cash settlement and exchanging crypto for cash and the other way around. So there is alternatives that blockchain technology provides that, crypto provides that, and we should be thinking about banked and unbanked. There's always going to be banks, even if blockchain evolves to a point where it makes banks obsolete. I think there's still going to be demand for banks, there's still going to be governments and institutions that prefer to use banks instead of crypto. And then I think one distinction I would like to make between blockchain technology and crypto is just one use case of blockchain technology. Crypto came about when Bitcoin started, but it's evolved over the years because now it's actually a capital raising instrument. Tokens or cryptocurrencies are being given in exchange for people investing in companies. That's the new way of raising capital, and that's actually much more liquid instrument than shares are. If you invest in the equity of a company, you'll be lucky to have it publicly listed in 5 years. But if you invest in a company using a token instrument, your investment can't be liquid within a year. So it's just a revolution in capital raising. I think that's what cryptocurrencies are. But yes, they've been abused, and it's a new technology, it's a new instrument that people always try to take advantage of. But with time, like Farhad said, investors are becoming more sophisticated, companies are becoming more sophisticated, and you're having sophisticated companies that are actually doing a lot of research on companies before they decide whether there is a need for this cryptocurrency or not, or there is a need to invest in this company or not.
Yeah, I think utility is becoming much more a focus, and I think, Don, did you have another comment, and we'll take one question from the audience.
Yeah, I mean, it's a similar message. There are days I wake up and think, are we creating the existing financial world and society on just a different way? And are we going to see the same financial institutions win? But actually, I'll be slightly more positive than that, right? It's, of course, we're creating a lot of similarities because we're really still at the early days of adoption, and a lot of entities, be it family offices, be it investors, be it banks in this world need some commonalities and connections to what they used to, so they can come to this world and adopt. But at the same time, I'd say from a finance perspective, from an exchange capability, we see a huge amount of use cases, particularly say Africa, South America, where people who do not have bank accounts are now getting access to financial inclusivity, they are able to access new financial products. And again, like Saeed said, right, companies again focus a lot within the Africa area, where we're seeing a lot of companies that are wouldn't exist because they don't have the existing financial rails, they don't have access to PE, there is no CSD, right, that are now able to actually exist and be the companies that are change the face of the world in the future because this is coming through. So, yeah, I do have days where I wake up and think, oh, crikey, a synthetic derivative. And then there's other days where I'm seeing companies that would never even existed 2 years ago able to get funding, and that's a really positive thing.
And I saw, we'll take one question from the audience in the interest of time, just to close it out.
So, if you don't mind, I'll ask 2 questions here, Mike. First question, my name is Saul Warren from Timothy. First question is, the blockchain seems to, the main kind of evolution of blockchain has been crypto, just to be honest with all of us. Surely until I can go out there and buy myself a hamburger or a bottle of water with a Bitcoin, with some kind of cryptocurrency, crypto is a pretty useless asset. You know, it's you're talking about maybe investing with it, but you know, no stage I made an investment where the recipient of my actual cash has been prepared to accept a cryptocurrency. Maybe I'm not in that world yet, but to me, as I say, until I can actually get it down to buying a hamburger or a bottle of water, to me, you know, Bitcoin is a useless currency, so I appreciate the response to that, number one. Number two, I'll just ask number two. It's interesting how, in terms of the meta, we spoke about, there seems like there's going to be a huge amount of competition and investment between countries. And it's ironic that we're kind of looking to create a metaverse that sits on top of the whole globe. How do you reconcile the kind of the investments, say, per country? You know, so I'm sure Tel Aviv and Riyadh and Abu Dhabi and every other country also want to become the leaders in this. And yet they're going to, you know, how are they going to get kind of punished by saying, well, we're not going to use your meta because that's a Saudi-based meta. We want to use the meta that is, you know, developed to Silicon Valley.
I'll answer to the first question, and somebody else can answer the second one. I see your point on the first question, but you're making the argument that Bitcoin is a currency. Actually, cryptocurrency is a misleading name. Cryptocurrencies are not currencies. They're assets, right? They're crypto assets. They are a vehicle where you can transfer value. It doesn't have to be in a shop or with a vendor. You can transact in crypto. You can send and receive crypto. It's not designed to be a currency as you know traditional currencies are. So yes, I agree it's not currency, but I disagree that it's useless. I think it's very useful. I think if I want to use a bank today to send money to somebody, for example, in Lebanon or in Brazil or somewhere, it might take 3-4 working days to get there. But if I want to send the same value to somebody there, I can just send them Bitcoin, and they can convert it to cash, and it becomes currency.
Yeah, I also don't agree with the statement that cryptocurrency, okay, it depends how you define it. So my co-founder is also founder of the largest crypto payment processor, right? We have 100,000 global merchants that we process crypto payments for, and we give 1,800 different currencies that they can settle with. And these are big merchants like Shopify and the like. The only problem why people are not settling in crypto more is the regulation, right? Is the fact of the matter that if you give us permission to settle crypto, I'll connect every single shop in this entire region. Why? Because they have zero capex on it. All they need is a QR code. And in terms of the value of cryptocurrency, tell me, how would you send me $50 million right now through a traditional banking system and I would receive it right now? There's no way, right? And in cryptocurrency, I can send that over and over and over, and there's no intermediary, there's no correspondent banks to stop me and do things like that. The only other reason is the compliance. But then there's chain analytics to analyze how clean the coins are and to prove your authenticity and where you got them and how, right? Excuse me? That's incorrect. It suggests that the money doesn't count. I mean, there's failed transactions, but large amounts are usually always settled in Bitcoin, right? And people, when they settle for payments, it's usually done in stable coins nowadays, which is pegged to US dollar. And that's run on various different networks, including Solana, Ethereum, and like, right? But there's never been issues on the payment redemption side. Just to answer the second question about metaverses, right now all metaverses are like games, right, in different silos. And the point of blockchain is to connect these silos and be interoperable, right? So it doesn't really matter who builds what. The system should be able to connect to everything. And NFT and these assets should be interoperable, and they should be able to function and interact in every one of these environments.
Excellent. I think on that note, we are a few minutes over time, so we will have to close out the panel. But I just want to say I still had like half a dozen questions I wanted to ask, but thank you for such an interesting discussion. And you know, I think it's a great space that we're all in. And as you mentioned, Tom, we have 6 really great actors from the world of digital assets. So thank you for doing that.